From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, August 4th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.72 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,268 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 3.1 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,857. Antiwar.com reports the Syrian government and a group of self-described moderate rebels have agreed to a ceasefire in the area just north of the key city of Homs, allowing for the implementation of a third of 4 planned safe zones meant to keep combatants separated. Russian officials have announced that they will send military police to set up the new safe zone, establishing checkpoints to divide the fighters and observation towers to ensure that neither side enters the newly demilitarized area. Russia has already done this in the 2 southernmost safe zones, and neither case has seen substantial incidents of fighting since, leading to the hope that the safe zone idea, which was long rejected by many, may finally provide some level of calm, at least in parts of the country. The 4th and final zone will likely be the most difficult as it is the largest. This northernmost proposed zone cuts deeply into rebel-held Idlib province and is intended to separate the coastal Latakia province from the myriad rebels packed into Idlib. The zone in Idlib would require acquiescence from multiple rebel groups, including Al-Qaeda, and its sheer size is likely to make it impossible to implement as currently envisioned, as it would oblige the rebels to give up key territory. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the Department of Justice on Thursday said it will withhold federal grant money to law enforcement agencies in so-called sanctuary cities unless they assist Homeland Security in deporting undocumented immigrants who their departments identify. In a memo released online, Attorney General Jeff Sessions said multiple municipalities that have refused to comply with federal agencies seeking to deport undocumented immigrants are endangering the safety of officers and the public. He said by forcing police to go into more dangerous situations to re-arrest the same criminal, these policies endanger law enforcement officers more than anyone. The Department of Justice is committed to supporting our law enforcement at every level, and that's why we're asking sanctuary jurisdictions to stop making their jobs harder. Earlier this year, the federal government put nearly a dozen cities and counties, along with the California Department of Corrections, on notice that they were subject to being blacklisted from lucrative federal grants that help fund their departments if they did not begin to comply with federal immigration policies. Thursday's announcement stated any municipality that refuses to notify ICE of an undocumented person in their custody or refuses to hold those individuals for up to 48 hours so ICE can take custody of them will be subject to having federal grant applications denied. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports the Trump administration moved on Thursday to make permanent a new questionnaire that asks some U.S. visa applicants to provide their social media handles and detailed biographical and travel history, according to a public notice. The questionnaire rolled out in May as part of an effort to tighten vetting of would-be visitors to the United States and ask for all prior passport numbers, 5 years' worth of social media handles, email addresses and phone numbers, and 15 years of biographical information, including addresses, employment, and travel history. The Office of Management and Budget, which must approve most new federal requests of information from the public, initially approved the form on an emergency basis, which allowed its use for up to 6 months rather than the usual 3 years. The State Department published a notice in the Federal Register on Thursday seeking to use the form for the next 3 years. The public has 60 days to comment on the request. The questions are meant to more vigorously evaluate applicants for terrorism, national security-related, or other visa ineligibilities, according to the notice. While the questions are voluntary, the form says failure to provide information may delay or prevent processing of a visa application. The form does not target any particular nationalities. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.